Okay, here we are. We're going to quickly get to the testing site, but just a reminder, we're starting at the Sapulpa tournament. We've logged in as administrator. If you ever want to reset your testing site, it's a good idea. An easy way is to come back to your main site, your main track wrestling tournament, go to import settings, and I'm not logged in on actually that tab, sorry. Imports. This tab is where I was logged in at. Import settings, and on that window, at the bottom of all the options to import, there's a link where I can copy the status of this tournament to my testing site. When I click this, I'm going to have to wait first few seconds, and when the testing is copied over, it transfers me to the testing site. I then have to start over and search for my tournament, and I can log in again as administrator here. Okay, once I'm logged in to my testing site, because I just copied this, I'm assuming everything starts from scratch, but I already have my groups and divisions set up. I'm going to check that. I have 0 wrestlers as a wrestler count. I have some combines, combining brackets, because I copied this from an existing tournament that had combined brackets. I'm going to need to fix that at a later point, but it's not going to affect my testing right now. 46 and 49 would be listed down separately, and if you give me a second, I will go ahead and fix that, and so we can start at a better spot. Okay, that may have been instantaneous to you all, but what I had done is when I imported the first time, I imported from a tournament that had already been run and they had combined weights. So I'm in a fresh setup on the testing site. I have my groups and divisions with novice and open. If you go to bracketing, you will see, if I go to the wrestler list, I have no wrestlers. So real quickly, you can go to the left menu, you're going to set up random wrestlers in the operations. Just going to say 250, it's a small number. I don't select adding to existing teams because there are none yet. Get all of the relevant divisions. Click add. Okay, that's done. In one of the previous videos we talked about the wrestlers. These weights were added randomly. We're going to pretend everybody's weighed in and bracket from there. So one of the important things is to know how many mats we're running. Go to bracketing mats. We have 5 mats. It's also relevant to look at your number schemes because we set up a number scheme for each mat. We'll talk about that in a moment. So quickly, we have just finished weigh-in. Combining participants in brackets is important to do before we bracket. I'm going to go to Division 1. Let's say there's one guy here, 49. We're going to combine him. We're going to bump him up to 52. So I'm going to select 49 and 52. Go to Combine Selected. I'm going to call this weight 49/52. Hit Enter. Combines them. There's a 3-man group. So we want to go through each of our divisions and combine the necessary wrestlers. So real quickly, 55 and 60, I will select both of those, combine selected, and say 55, 60. That's the title that will show on the bracket now. It's a combined weight. Let's pretend that there's only one heavyweight here. Actually, let's find a division where there's only one guy. Okay, let's say that the 66 pounder He's a novice guy, and we wanted to move him up a division. There's two ways to do that. I can select his weight and move this selected weight to another division, or if it's just a single man, and click on the weight and edit this guy and change his actual division there. When you change a man, you want to be sure the actual weight is set or stays the same. These actual weights don't make sense because they were randomly added to the testing site. So after we go through combining all the necessary weights, from here on out we're going to go to bracketing. I'm going to assign brackets to my weight classes. This is where we're going to delete 5, delete 6 possibly. This is because this is how we're going to assign round robin brackets. The 5 and 6 man round robin, we may want to wrestle in an 8-man line bracket. 4 wrestlers will wrestle those guys in a round robin. So track uses these numbers to know what type of brackets they're going to set up. So you'll notice on my cursor the missing 5 and 6 between 7 and 4. So we have to add those back in. 6-man bracket, we're going to move them to a line bracket. And I want to add that, and that will pop up at the bottom. 5-man bracket, I'm going to want to do the same thing. Okay, so that tells us this is the list of the bracket types that we're going to use to bracket the tournament. So I've selected all the divisions, and I'm going to assign the bracket types that are in the list below. And it makes that assignment for me. So now we've chosen what types of brackets. Now we can build the brackets. We have wrestlers weighed in. We're ready to build brackets. I select all divisions, and when I build brackets, it's going to ask me to draw the seeds. This will concern some of you in the future if you want to seed your tournament. Track automatically separates teammates. There's separation criterias and ways to set up seeds. We're not doing that at the moment. So selected build and built the brackets. The next step is I go back to bracketing. Now I'm going to go to my mats, and I want to decide what brackets are going to which mats. So for example, novice in division 1 and novice 1, we're probably going to want to put on mat 1. The order of these mats are important here, because when track assigns mats, it assumes your first mat in that order is the lowest, and it will assign the smallest weights and divisions to that mat and move on up. So we have division 5 and the big guys here on mat 5. You can adjust these numbers. Track does a pretty good job dispersing equally, and it goes by wrestling time, and there are options here we're not going to concern ourselves with in this video, but you could make some tweaks here, move one bracket up and down, get that to where you like it. The important part is when we do like how it's dispersed the mats to the mats, I'm going to save, and these all turn bold to tell me that it's locked those brackets in to those mats. So now the brackets are ready to be numbered. I'm going to go back to bracketing, number schemes. I'm going to make sure I've got my 5 mats here selected. This will be defaulted for you, but basically it says we're starting numbering all of the brackets at bout number 1, and we're skipping buys. I apply that scheme. I'm going to leave the bout status frozen. That's unimportant now because we don't have any bouts. It will be if you're changing brackets after the tournament has started. I apply that, and the tournament has built my bouts. So I can confirm that by going to operating, look at my bout schedule, and I have a list of bouts ready to wrestle. Now it depends on if we're running the tournament electronically on computers at the mat table, or if I need to print out bouts and have bout runners assign these to mats or run these to the bat numbers. And we can cover that option in the next video.